The 10th Amendment says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. To what do you attribute the growth in the size and scope and intrusiveness of the federal government, and what legislation would Kathy propose to limit the size and scope of the federal government?
All right, thank you. I think we all know that the federal government has gotten way too big. And one of the things that Kathy has made, again, as one of the features of her platform, is making sure that the power to make decisions remains as local and to the states as possible. And we're going to be seeing this in action very shortly in June when the SCOTUS comes out with some very important decisions. Kathy's focus will be to make sure that we minimize the federal government and its reach into the states as much as possible. Two key areas will be, one, the Department of Education. That's a perfect example of an issue where the state, that is not enumerated in the Constitution. That means it is clearly up to local people, our states, our local governments, to make those decisions. And secondly, we're about to get a SCOTUS decision outlining the right or the control of abortion in the states. And that'll be one of those areas where, again, finally, what the Constitution was meant to do, and that was to make important decisions as local as possible, we will, with some luck, have a decision where that kind of decision will remain in the hands of the people, for example, here in Illinois, to make the most personal decisions directly. So any time that the federal government wants to make a decision that interferes and walks in your front door, Kathy will fight against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Casey, this question is in regards to the 10th Amendment. To what do you attribute the growth in the size and scope and intrusiveness of the federal government, and what legislation would you propose to limit the size and scope of the federal government?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just let the government to overtake of our lives. Because, yeah, this is the very truth. Government is not only right now trying to tell us what to do every day, but because of the sole power of even employment, over 50% of our workforce, if you're including all the local and state employees, is in a government. So they have a very obtrusive role, actually, in conducting the way they behave. How to stop it? Well, first of all, let's go by the Constitution. Let's have states decide their own role and govern themselves. Let's the government stay away from running businesses they ought not to run. And there are plenty of them, not just Medicare and healthcare. There are a lot of other industries where private industries can thrive and we can reduce. Let's reduce also the amount of rules and regulations that are put on the books. That's another way to stop interference in our way of life and our daily life. This is what we can do, and we need to elect people that will charter the course, they will introduce the new legislation to stop the intrusive government in our life. And let's just, the last thing, don't forget as well as Texas, because Texas is also in a way of solution that controls our daily livelihood. The more Texas, the less freedoms. The less Texas we have, the more of a freedom we can enjoy from our life. So let's make sure that we take care of obstruction by legal actions, by legislation. That's totally in the power of us. Thank you.